Hello everyone and welcome back to another screencast, and this one's on the Pythagoras Theorem line segments. So if you've done the Pythagoras Theorem screencast before, then you're going to be in good stead for this one. If you haven't done, then you'll need to go back and watch that, but this will make no sense. And we don't want it to make no sense for you, so please go back and watch that one first. Okay, so what is the Pythagoras Theorem? So first of all, the Pythagoras Theorem states that for all right-angled triangles, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of their other two sides. Now I'm going to explain that a little bit more. So the hypotenuse is the biggest, or the greatest length, and it's always opposite the right angle. And we can see that one there, and that's 5. And if we square the other two numbers, so if I square 4, I get 16. If I square 3, I get 9. And if I add those together, that's the sum part, then I'll end up with 25. Okay. Now, I know this might be a little bit complicated, but the square root of 25 is 5, and that proves that we're correct. Okay, so let's move on. How do we use this information to find the missing side? Okay. Now, we've done these ones before, but we're quickly going to go over them. All right. So first things first, we need to know our equation, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remembering a stands for the smallest length, which is 10 squared. B stands for the second smallest length, which is 24 squared. And then we do not know what c squared is, or what x is. Okay, so let's work that through. What's 10 squared? Well, 10 squared's 100. You'll need to have your calculator, hence why we have the old sign out here saying you need your calculator, because we're going to have to go 24 squared, or 24 times 24. And what we get is, we get 576, I think. I'll just check that. Yes, that's right. And then we've still got our c squared. So we add those two together to give us 676 equals c squared. And you'll remember from the last video that we square root this and we square root that. And let's do that now. So we square root 676, and that equals c equals 26. And at this point we can rearrange and say that x equals 26. Okay, so hopefully you got that, and hopefully you found that relatively easy. If you didn't, you need to go back and watch the other video. All right, so let's have a little go at this now. You can see here that we've got a line segment, but we do not have a right angled triangle, but we can make one. And this is what we do with these. All we do is we draw ourselves a right angled triangle. And then we just be very careful to make sure that each line is worth 1. And on this occasion it is. So this is 3 and this is 3. And now we've got what we need to work out the length of, let's just label it x. So we've got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A is the smaller side, 3 squared. B is the second smaller side, 3 squared. And c is, well, we don't know c. So we've got 9 plus 9 equals c squared. That's 18 equals c squared. There's a lot of c squareds going around here, isn't there? And all I do is grab my calculator and I go the square root of 18, and I'll find that there's some decimals here, and we always do to 2 decimal places. We'll end up with square root first there. We always end up with c equaling 2 decimal places, which would be 4.24. All right, and then we can relabel it as, the length from wherever to wherever is 4.24. And there we go, we are correct. Okay, so I want you to give this one a go for yourself, but I just want to help you out before you start. Have a look. Each of these lines is actually not worth 1, it's worth 2. So if I was to redraw my triangle down here, this is a terrible line, but that's the best I can do. Each of these is worth 2. So it's not going to be 4 and 5, it's going to be something else. So have a little go at it, come back and see if you got the right answer. Okay, so if everyone's worth 2, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's worth 8. And this one's worth 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So really simple. I've got my a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, a's worth 8, b's worth 10, and we still don't know. So 8 times 8, 64, plus 100. So then we've got 164 equaling c. Get out your calculators and go the square root of 164 is equal to 12.81 if I square root and square root. Sorry if I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, so that's those ones there. Let's just give one more a go. And again, I'm not going to tell you, but I want you to look out for how much each line is worth. Okay? All right, so give this one a go yourself and then come back, no help from me, come back and see if you got it correct. Okay, so let's draw out the triangle. That's a shocking straight line, but there we go. Now, each one of these lines is worth 2. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. But each one of these lines is worth 1, so I've got 2. So you may have made a little mistake there, but don't worry. We all make mistakes. It's just our first attempt in learning. So we copy out the equation. Now you'll notice that I always copy out the equation. There's a good reason for that, because the more you copy it out, the more you remember it. So a squared would be 2 squared. B squared would be 8 squared. And then we've got our c squared. We've got our 4 and 64. So then we've got 68. Okay, what do? We square root. We square root, get out a calculator. Square root of 68 equals 8.25 because we're rounding to 2 decimal places. And we'll just see if we're correct. 8.25, absolutely. Okay, so now it's time for you to give the quiz a go. Everyone loves a quiz. No one hates the quiz. We call it a quiz because we're scared to call it a test. But anyway, give it a go. Just make sure you follow all those steps. If you are struggling a little bit, go back and watch them again. There's nothing wrong with going back and watching them again. But give these a go. Come back and see if you've got them correct. All right, let's have a look. What did you get? Hopefully you got C equals 5 and C equals 8.94. If you did, Bobby Dazzler. If you didn't, go back and have another go. But for now anyway, hopefully you have been successful. Write a revision card on it. That would be fantastic. And I hope you come back again and do another screencast, and hopefully you get better and better every time. Until next time.